Parallelism. As the name hints, it is the usage of grammatical structure of words in a list to show that two or more ideas have the same function in the sentence. Now, I know just like this definition, every definition doesn't make much sense. In short, whenever there is a sentence, the pattern or the format should be same. Let's go on to few examples so that we understand that. Let's understand important definitions, okay? First of all, what is a gerund? Gerund is nothing but a word that is a verb. Verb is nothing but a word that denotes the action like act, sing, dance plus ing. So acting, dancing, all these words are nothing but gerunds. And you're supposed to know this. Why? Because if you know the meaning of gerunds, infinitives and these things, then only further rules are going to make sense. Now, what is an infinitive? Infinitive is nothing but to plus verb form. Now, whenever you add ing or any word with ing, for example, if I'll say speak, it is a verb. It shows that someone is doing the action. This word denotes the action. And when I add ing, it becomes what? It becomes speaking. Now, whenever ing is there, it is gerund. Gerund shows the action in motion. Similarly, when I add to the verb, it becomes infinitive. Okay, so to speak, it is nothing but an infinitive. So you are supposed to know these two definitions. What is an active voice, passive voice? Active voice, when the active voice, the subjects as, so we can say that the subject is being active. In other words, the subject does the action to the object. Now, let me ask you one question. Do you understand the meaning of object and subject? Actually, subject comes first and then the object. It's easy. Subject means someone who does the action. Subject shows doer of an action. Someone who does an action is the subject. And someone who receives the action, it is the object. Someone who receives the action or recipient. In short, if I'll write it, recipient of an action is the nothing but object. Let me give you a very simple example. If I'll say, I am writing on the screen. I am writing on the screen. So I is nothing but the subject. I am doing the action. And screen is nothing but the object. Someone who's receiving the action. And what is the action? Writing is the action. So active voice means when the subject is behaving as the doer of the action. Passive when it becomes vice versa. For example, again I'll take the white screen to make you understand. If I'll say I kicked, आपका नेट कनेक्शन चेक करो बडी, क्योंकि यहाँ पे तो मेरा वाईफाई है. आपका नेट कनेक्शन ठीक है? आपका नेट कनेक्शन चेक करो. आपको क्लियर आ रही है आवाज बाकी लोगों को? Yeah, so that means there is the problem with internet connection. Anyway, आप अपना वाईफाई या राउटर जिससे भी आप चेक करें ना, अपना नेट कनेक्शन चेक करिए, क्योंकि दोनों का कनेक्शन सेम होना चाहिए, अच्छा होना चाहिए. Anyway, I kicked the ball. I kick the ball. I am doing the action, that is the subject, and ball is getting kicked. So now this is an active voice. Why? Because of course ball cannot kick itself. But when I say the ball has been kicked by me, the ball has been kicked by me. Now here the subject, ball is behaving as the subject because it's showing that ball is doing the action. What action? Being kicked. But here of course ball cannot kick itself. So now this is the passive sentence. Now of course you are supposed to know basic grammatical constructions before we go on to this stuff, and these are few things you are supposed to know before we go on to the examples. Moving on. Parallelism, now this is the first type of rule, and in many sentence correction questions, these kind of questions are asked and you can simply read and understand. And once again, guys, you do not have to memorize, you just have to remember the concept. You just have to understand the concept that अगर ing होगा तो ing होता रहेगा, to होगा तो to होगा. Why? Because gerund shows action in motion and infinitive shows someone is doing the action or someone is going to do the action. So if I'm talking about doing the action, all the actions should be in the same format, parallel. For example, when the first item in a list is a gerund or an infinitive, the rest of the items should follow the same pattern. Simple. If I am talking now, what is a gerund? Verb plus ing. For example, this sentence is incorrect. In red, Ron likes reading. Now, the reading is gerund, dancing is gerund. Let me write G for gerund. Acting is also gerund. And to watch TV. Now, this is infinitive. This is wrong. It should be like this. Ron likes reading, dancing, acting, and watching TV. Now, what are the gerunds? Reading, dancing, acting, and watching. Now, this is the example of gerund. I hope I am making sense. And these, trust me, guys, parallelism is very easy. Now, let's talk about infinitive. Let's take one example of infinitive. Sam likes to read, dance, act, and watching TV. Now, here everything is wrong. Here I'm talking about infinitive. This is the base form of the verb, and this is gerund. Now, either I'll convert everything into gerund or infinitive. So here it is, making it into infinitive. To read, dance, act, and watch TV. Now, this to is behaving as the gerund for to read, to dance, to act, and to watch TV. Means this to is basically becoming an infinitive form for all these things. Now, here watching was there, that was wrong. Watch TV. So, whenever you read a sentence, maybe they are going to give you a sentence where the part of sentence is not correct, or you have to find that, okay, this part of the sentence is not right, or that part of the sentence is not right. You ask yourself whether the words are there in a gerund form or not, and then check the options, you will understand. Moving on. Parallelism of conjunctions. Now, what is a conjunction? Conjunction is a word that or group of words that joins two words or two sentences. Any question till now, guys? Abhishek, Aniket, Prashant, I hope everyone is understanding. If there is any doubt, please ask. ठीक है. Prashant is showing he's fine. ठीक है. Conjunctions. When correlative conjunctions. Now, what is a correlative conjunction? Now, guys, there are different types of conjunctions, okay? Correlative, coordinating, tag team conjunction, whatever. But let's not get into that. Just simply focus on conjunctions. Conjunction is a word that joins two words or two sentences. When correlative conjunctions are used, they must act parallel word structure. Correlative means these are also known as tag team conjunctions. That means they work in a team. They work together. For example, not only but also, either or, neither nor. So when you use two words to join sentences and those two words are necessary to be used in a sentence to complete the expression, that is known as correlative conjunction. He not only lost his confidence but also his self-respect. He not only lost his confidence but also lost his confidence. I'm sorry, but also lost his, it should be self-respect. My bad. It should not be his confidence, but I hope you guys are getting it. Self-respect. Here I'm going to write self-respect, but then not confidence, confidence, self-respect, self-respect. It's a typing error. It should be self-respect. One second. His self-respect. This is going to be here. He not only lost his confidence, but also lost his self-respect. So lost is not there. I have to maintain the pattern of the sentence. That is what parallelism is. I can write legibly. Legibly means correctly, legally, and in an accurate manner. Now, legibly is there, so I should use the another word accurately. Legibly, accurately. That's how it's going to go. Legibly, accurately. Because I have to maintain the word form. I have to maintain the structure of the sentence. Parallelism mean when things are same, equal, in a pattern, in one pattern. In a sentence, basically you have to follow the same pattern. Either Susie repents for her actions or faces punishment. Now, who faces punishment? Susie, of course, because I am using conjunction, correlative conjunctions, either or, so I have to make sure that I am talking about Susie. So, either I can write here Susie again, or I can use a pronoun, a feminine pronoun for Susie. Let's say that Susie is a female. So, either Susie repents for her action or she faces punishment. She, Susie, for this. Do not worry, guys. I'm going to share the slides of this session with you guys in the group so that you guys can do the revision. You should not memorize grammar. Anyway, if you are going to memorize grammar, you are not going to get the answer in the examination. And that is the reason, after studying grammar in school and sometimes in college, still people are not aware or able to get the right answer when there is a sentence correction question or spot the error. You have to make sure that you guys are focusing on the concept or the understanding. As I've mentioned earlier, parallelism is nothing but, okay, a definition is given, but this definition might not make much sense to many people. It's just that you have to follow the same pattern. Okay, let's move on. Now, parallelism of clauses. Now, what is a clauses? First of all, you should understand what is a clause. Can anybody tell me what you mean by a clause? What is a clause and what is a phrase? Do you guys know what is a clause and what is a phrase? These are, I'm sure you guys must have heard the words clause, phrase, blah, blah, blue. Clause is nothing but a group of words where both the subject means doer of the action. That is the reason I was explaining you those terminologies, subject, object, and I request people to join when the session starts so that things make sense, or else if they join in between they will understand, but chances are they might not be able to understand few things. So clause is nothing but a group of words, or in short a sentence, where the subject means doer of the action and the verb is mentioned, and it makes complete sense. If in a sentence is any one of them is missing, the sentence won't make complete sense. For example, let me give you a simple example. I am writing. Now here I is the subject, someone who does the action. Writing is a verb, am is also a verb, but let's just focus on this thing. Now this is nothing but the clause. An example of clause. What is a clause? A sentence that shows the subject and verb both are there. It makes absolute sense. But there is another word, phrase. Clauses and phrases. Phrase is basically a sentence or a group of words where either the subject or the verb is missing. Both the things are not there and it doesn't make complete sense. It gives you an idea, but it doesn't make complete sense. Usually, Hollywood movie names are phrases. For example, Man of Steel. If you see in this sentence, subject could be there, man, but where is the verb? There is no verb. Verb means a word that denotes the action. Now, this sentence does not make complete sense. Man of Steel, come on, man is made up of flesh, bones, blood. So, man of steel, but you get some idea. Okay, someone who's quite strong. So, phrase is basically a group of words or a sentence where both the things are not present and it does not make complete sense. But clause make absolute sense. When I was in school, I wanted to remember these things and how I remembered it. C comes before P in alphabetical order. So C got both verb plus subject. P comes after C. So either it phrase is going to get the clause or the verb. Both are not going to be present there. Any doubt till now, guys, here, please ask me before I proceed further, because if you do not understand any of the things what I am expressing here, The slides which I'm going to explain from now on won't make sense to you. So please ask if you have any doubts, any concern. Okay. When clauses are used in a sentence, they are usually okay. I'm reading this stuff, okay? Let me use a spotlight. When clauses are used in a sentence, they are usually expressed in a parallel structure and all should be either in active or in the passive voice. Now, you remember I mentioned that active and passive stuff. One second, guys. I'm getting a call. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry for that. I disconnected it. I'll call them again. When clauses are used in a sentence, they are usually expressed in a parallel structure and all should be either in the active or the passive voice. Now, what is an active voice and passive voice? I've already explained you that in the previous slide. Once again, I go back to that slide so that people who have forgotten or who didn't join at that time, where it is, where the heck it is. Yeah, here it is. Active voice, passive voice. Active voice is a sentence where subject behave as a subject and object behaves as an object. Passive is vice versa. When the subject becomes the object and object becomes the subject. What is the subject? Doer of the action. What is the object? Someone who receives the action. I am drinking water. I am doing the action. Now this sentence is active because I is doing the action of drinking water. But if I say water has been drunk by me, the water has been drunk by me. Now, water is behaving as the subject, someone who did the action of being drunk by someone known as I or Ashish. Okay, I hope I'm making sense. Do not get confused. Okay, where I was. Here it is. No, clauses. There, here it is. So, the doctor advised that the patient take adequate rest. Now, this is the wrong sentence in red. The doctor advised that, and I'll tell you how, even if you do not understand clauses, even if you do not understand phrases or any other thing, but if you pay attention, you will still be able to understand that, okay, something is not right. Okay, there is some error, and I'll explain you how you get that. Check this stuff. The doctor advised, and I'll show you how. I explain you how. The doctor advised that the patient take adequate rest, not worry too much, exercise regularly, and a good nutritious diet be taken by him. Now check here. There are many actions doctor is advising. Take adequate rest, not worry too much, exercise regularly. Now let me change the color here. All these three things are in same pattern. Again I change the color to red. But as soon as I go beyond end, a good nutritious diet be taken by him. Now I'm changing the pattern. Now remember I mentioned phrases and clauses. Basically all these things. Take adequate rest. Okay, let me change the color here. Take adequate rest. Not worry too much. Exercise regularly. All these are nothing but phrases. It's not clauses. Because the sentence is not with the subject. Take adequate rest. Not worry too much. Exercise regularly. But this thing, and a good nutritious diet be taken by him, it is a clause. Or even if you are not understanding phrases and clauses, you will understand that the formation, the pattern is not making sense. Here I'm talking about take adequate rest, not worry too much, exercise regularly. So how I'm going to change that? Now this incorrect sentence got corrected here. Check, read this. The doctor advised that the patient take adequate rest, not worry too much, exercise regularly, and follow a good and nutritious diet. Now here, check this thing. Take adequate rest, not worry too much, exercise regularly, follow a good and nutritious diet. Here this sentence was different, but here the pattern of the sentences are same. You have to follow the same pattern. Now, if still these things are not making sense to you, do not worry. In examination, examiner is going to give you either this error in an underlined way. Examiner is going to say, okay, there is an error here, correct it. You read the options, you'll get to know where the error is. Or even if the examiner is just simply giving you five or four sentences and asking you to spot the error, or maybe not giving you much options, you can still find out by looking at the options that, okay, here the pattern is not making sense. The things which they are talking, they are not in one form. They should either be in phrase or clause. If I'm using clauses, I should keep on using clauses. If I'm using phrases, I should keep on using phrases. Now, let me give you this thing in one more example. Let's say, if I say, he is smart, intelligent, strong, and well aware. Now, here this sentence is right. Why? Smart, intelligent, strong, well aware. It's following the same pattern. These are adjectives. I am following the same pattern. But what if I say he is smart, and in place of intelligent, if I write he is intelligent, short form, and then strong and well aware. Now, this sentence is wrong. Why? Because I need to follow the same pattern. Again, one more example. Superman is strong, fast, and a savior. Now, strong, fast, savior is right. But if I say Superman is strong, fast, and he is a savior of mankind or humanity, or just basically I say he is the savior. Now this sentence is wrong. Why? Because Superman is strong and fast and he is a savior. It should be just and savior. I have to follow the same pattern. Even if you do not understand what is a phrase, what is a clause, I hope this thing is making sense to you, okay? Because these things will take time, and teaching grammar online is even more challenging. I am sure you guys do not enjoy studying online. If some of you do, good for them, but at least I do not enjoy teaching online. But anyway, any questions till now, guys? Please ask before I proceed or before I tread further. Any questions, guys? Mihika, Prashant, Abhishek, Aniket, any questions, guys? Please ask. Okay. Now, parallelism of structure. When ideas are expressed as a list in a sentence, they should be grammatically parallel. What do you mean by grammatically parallel? Basically, they should be following the same pattern. That is what parallelism is. What you mean by parallel? Two equal lines, opposite equal and opposite line going in one direction. The recipe book showed us the ingredients to use, the proportion in which to mix them, and how they are to be cooked. Read this line, this red line, or this red sentence, and check the green one. And ask yourself, where is the difference? Before I start explaining you, read it and understand. Ask yourself why the green is right and red is wrong. What went wrong in red? Do this self speculation, okay? I'll introspection is needed by you guys also. So I'll put myself on mute for 1 minute. I want you guys to check, and then of course I'll explain. Okay, now parallelism of structure. When ideas are expressed, okay, whatever, blah, blah, blue is there. Let's understand what is there in the red one and the green one. I want you guys to get the concept of parallelism. You do not need to memorize what is this and what is that. But yes, as a faculty, it's my moral responsibility to explain you all those technical terms. But even if you do not understand technical terms, if you are sensible, you understand what is right, what is wrong. And that is what is going to be gauged in the examination. The recipe book showed us the ingredients to use, the proportion in which to mix them, and how they are to be cooked. Okay. Now check the green sentence. The recipe book showed us the ingredients to use, the proportion in which to mix. Now check here. To use, to mix, to cook them. To use, to mix, to be cooked. That is the reason it's wrong. They have to follow the same pattern. Infinitives are going on, and actually the pattern or the way sentences are expressed. Now check again the red one. The recipe book showed us the ingredients to use, the proportion in which to mix them, and how they are to be cooked. No. Now I'm sure if I randomly speak or write the sentence, it sounds absolutely right, but it isn't. The recipe book showed us the ingredients to use, the proportion in which to mix them, and the procedure to cook them. Now, do not worry, guys. In examination, you're going to get the options. You read the question or the sentence, check the options. Just remember one thing in your head, that the sentence can only be correct if the parallel structure is maintained. If you remember this concept, or if you remember this session, when you look at the options, the answer will click. And please do not try to memorize, try to understand, because if you memorize, it won't be of any use. Now, parallelism of tenses. Now, guys, this is a quite complicated, and I can only give you a brief of it. Why? Because to understand this, you must understand tenses completely. You must understand the usage of tenses and where all people go wrong in tenses. I've already taught you tenses, but if you have missed that session, I'm going to share the link of tenses in which I have given you the complete concept of tenses. Everything is covered in that video with the commonly done errors, or for that matter, errors done by students. So if any one of you want me to send you that link of tenses, personally DM me, or yeah, personally text me. DM is basically personal text. You do that and I'll revert. So, okay, let me give you the brief of it. Actions controlled by the same subject and denoting the same time frame within the same sentence. Okay, once again, there is a typing error. Okay, this should be sentence. Should be sentence, should be denoted by the same tense. The sun was shining, the wind blew, and the water babbled. Now, here the sentence is wrong. Why? Because it's not following the parallelism of tenses. Why? It is continuous shining. Sun was shining, past continuous. The wind blew, past simple past. This past, continuous past, simple past, or past simple, past continuous. The water babbled, again past simple past, or past simple, whatever you want to call it. So now I'm going to change everything into one form, and that is was shining, was blowing, was babbling. Check the second one. Okay, I'm just giving you a brief of it so that you get the idea that I have to follow the same pattern, same tenses, or same tense form. I took a walk, going to gym for an hour and returned fresh and fit. What the heck? Forget about anything. Even if you read the sentence, it sounds incorrect because it is incorrect. I took a walk, past tense, went to the gym, past tense, and returned fresh and fit. I hope you guys are getting it. I took a walk going to gym. Here is where the sentence went wrong because it's showing continuity, going to gym. I'm going to gym. It's present continuous. But but then all of the other actions are in past. So I hope you guys are getting it. But then guys, you need to understand the expression of the sentence also. And I'm not expecting you guys to be Shakespeare in just one session of parallelism. If you haven't attended it anywhere first time, if you're attending it at Vision MBA, and if you are my student, of course, it will take time. And do not worry, we are going to do practice on it. I'm going to give you more sessions on it. Do not worry about it. I'm going to teach you in a way that it doesn't become too heavy and things make sense. Now check parallelism of comparatives. Okay, when you compare things, and I'll explain you how and where people go wrong. Let me just simply give you one by one so that we do not waste time. And grammar is something that should be done slowly so that concepts are there. I mean to say, not in terms of session, but the content wise. The population of India is greater than America. It's wrong. Why? Because here I'm comparing the population of India to the population of America. But this sentence sounds like, or the sentence meaning is confusing. The population of India is greater than America. So what is greater than America? India or the population? To make this error or this confusion right, the population of India is greater than that of America. Or you can also write the same sentence in another way. The population of India is greater than the population of America. There are various ways by which you can correct an incorrect sentence. Come on, it's not mathematics where you have to be certain about a formula or or the answer. It's expression, it's a language. You can express that in a different way. Considering the grammar and the expression is right. Mary is more beautiful than any girl in her class. Now, Mary is more beautiful than any other girl in her class. I hope. Now, here I want you guys to check the error and ask yourself why the sentence is right or wrong. Mary is more beautiful than any girl in her class. Mary is more beautiful than any other girl in her class. But then this sentence can also be written as Mary is most beautiful in her class. It's the same thing. Mary is most beautiful in her class. Sam hates junk food as much as his wife. Now, here the meaning is incorrect, or it's confusing. It's mentioned, understand, Sam hates junk food as much as his wife. So, does he hate his wife also the way he hates the junk food? No. Or maybe it is there, but it is not expressed correctly. Sam hates junk food as much as his wife does. That means the junk food is hated not just by Sam, but even his wife hates the junk food. Again, guys, I'm going to share all the slides with you so that you can go through them and you can revise the stuff. That's it. I'm not going to go beyond this because it's going to be too heavy. Grammar is something that gives you headache, and yes, I understand. So again, tomorrow at 5 p.m. we're going to meet and we're going to take this session forward. I'm going to share these slides with you. So make sure that you go through these slides, you focus on the concept and content. If there is any question, any doubt, please get in touch with me.